Hello everybody, my name is Guy in a Hoodie and welcome back to Iron Lung. So yeah, I went to see the Iron Lung movie, also known as the Markiplier movie, which I think is actually a more fitting name than Iron Lung. Long story short, 7.5 out of 10. Not bad, but not amazing. To make a short story long, so yeah, I do think that the movie is good. If you like Markiplier, you're gonna like this movie. If you like Iron Lung, you're gonna like this movie. I like both of those things, and I like this movie. Again, 7.5 out of 10 is good. Okay? Don't let fucking Rotten Tomatoes rot your brain, or the school American education system. A 7.5 out of 10 is good. Realistically speaking, it's actually more of like a 7.75 out of 10 rather than a 7.5, but that's getting really specific, so I don't fucking know. 7.75 out of 10. 77.5 out of 100. Whatever the fuck 5 stars that is. I fucking hate out of 5. That's so stupid. It's too low. I have like 3 main issues with this movie, and they're things that either are kind of just built into the movie that you can't really change, or there's things that other people didn't mind at all. For starters, this did not need to be 2 hours. I personally do not mind long movies. I kind of like it when things are 2 hours, like stuff like 28 Years Later, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, Superman, Fantastic Four, First Steps. Those are all like hour 50 to like a 2 hour movies, and they're all great. And they all like, I was never bored watching those movies. They were never like, oh man, when is this gonna end? I kind of was that way with Iron Lung. I feel like, especially like the first half is so like much slower compared to the second half that I kind of wish that the first half was just kind of shorter. Like make it have like an hour 45 minutes or something like that. Like the middle part like fucking barely matters at all because of spoilers, by the way, for like the whole movie, by the way. The middle part, as far as I can tell, it was kind of obsolete because most of it was just Markiplier hallucinating. And yes, I'm gonna call him Markiplier because that actually brings me up to the second issue, and that is Markiplier himself as Simon the convict, as the main character. Now, I understand why he is the main character. He played the game. You watch the video. This is basically a movie version of a fucking YouTube video, right? Of him playing the game. This is his movie, self-funded, and all that stuff. And it's good for marketing. You know, obviously, people want to watch the Markiplier movie because it's Markiplier, right? But because he's famous. But that's the kind of problem, is that I was not really able to get that invested into the story or that immersed into the world. Well, I guess the submarine is not really much of a fucking world. It's an ocean of blood. There's not much to it. Well, I guess there is some stuff in it. You get what I mean. It's hard to get immersed into with this character because I don't see Simon the convict. I see Markiplier. And like this is like an issue that you could have with like famous actors, but even then it's not as bad as that, because like when you see a famous actor, you don't see the actor, you see like another role by that actor, you know? Like you could still see character, you still see a character rather than a person. When you see Robert Downey Jr., you don't think, oh, it's Robert Downey Jr., you think, oh, it's Iron Man. When you see Paul Rudd, you don't think, oh, it's Paul Rudd, you think, oh, it's Ant-Man. When you see Tom Holland, you don't see Tom Holland. You see the guy that had gay sex in the crowded room. But that's just not how it works with Markiplier. When you see Markiplier, you think Markiplier, because this is like his only theatrical role so far. And whenever he does like other cinematic stuff, like when he did A Heist with Markiplier, he did In Space with Markiplier, parts 1 and 2. He plays Markiplier. So you're invested there because he's literally playing himself. Obviously, he knows how to play himself. But when he plays like such a serious role, but you really only know him as the guy who plays fucking Five Nights at Freddy's, it's kind of hard, for me at least, to get immersed and to be convinced that this is a character from a movie rather than just Markiplier. Especially considering the fact that this movie is nearly a 1-to-1 recreation of him playing the Iron Lung game, so it kind of just feels like that. It kind of just feels like he's like, I don't know, playing like a VR version of Iron Lung in a way, where it's pretty much just him and he's like role-playing rather than him acting. And this is not his fault. Markiplier, you can't blame him for being so famous that his acting is fine. He's not a bad actor at all. It's just that fact that he is Markiplier is what like holds it back from me being immersed with the movie, which is obviously pretty bad for like a horror science fiction drama, I guess, kind of dramatic like story, right? We're supposed to like feel bad for this character, especially at the ending, and like it's just hard to do that because I'm just seeing Markiplier doing that shit. Also, apparently Jacksepticeye was there, but you can barely fucking tell it's him because can you tell this is fucking Jacksepticeye? I can't. And speaking of the whole, this is kind of like just like a movie version of a YouTube video. That brings me to my third problem. And that is the fact that Iron Lung is cool. Iron Lung is a very cool, like, premise. It's a cool premise, it's a cool idea. But really only in game version, I don't know if this really works for a movie. The whole appeal of Iron Lung and why it was, like, so impressive or cool and relevant, because, like, is because when you played it, you were the convict, right? The convict was you. It wasn't like, it's not like Mario where there's a pre-established character that you play as. No, it's like, you are the convict. Literally, the first line of text in Iron Lung is, you are a convict, or like, you are a convict. So now when you put this in a movie version where someone else is the convict, it doesn't work as well, because you don't... Another part of the appeal of Iron Lung is that how you're all alone. You're all alone, crammed in a submarine, you're on your own with monsters in the blood ocean. But you're not alone, because you're watching the movie version with Markiplier. And that makes it a lot less scary, and again, a lot less immersive. Because you're not watching like a pre-established character from a video game when you adapt the game, like, I don't know, like Mario and others, pretty much any other video game adaptation. You're taking the placeholder character for the player into a character that doesn't really work, because again, also Iron Lung is essentially kind of like a puzzle game. So fucking, when you take that puzzle game into a movie, it's a movie about a guy solving a puzzle, which is kind of cool, but wouldn't you just rather be doing the puzzle yourself? Again, this is a thing that you can't really solve without fundamentally changing what Iron Lung is as a movie, which at that point wouldn't really be Iron Lung. But the problem is that Iron Lung in itself, by its own nature, just does not really work as a movie, because it is, you're supposed to be playing a game. It's not pretty much like most other video games have like a pre-established character that you play as, like say Mario, Lara Croft, like Master Chief or whatever, and you're playing as them. I'm trying to find the right way to like describe this. So basically, it's just kind of hard to get immersed in the movie because the main character of the movie is what is supposed to be you, basically, but now you remove yourself from the movie and add Markiplier in it. Now it just feels kind of odd. And also, there's a fourth thing, but this is not really like an issue that I would say. It's not really like a problem with the movie itself. It wasn't just like a thing about it, like a notable thing. You kind of need to play Iron Lung, or at least like watch someone play Iron Lung before you watch the movie, because it's less so like a replacement for playing the game. It's more so like a companion of it. You can really only enjoy. You can enjoy Iron Lung by itself, the game, but in order to kind of enjoy the movie, I think you would probably need to play the game or watch someone play the game. But again, I want to reiterate, this is a good movie. It is good. I liked it. I just have some problems. I just couldn't get as immersed by it due to the fact that it's Markiplier in a role, so it's just kind of jarring the whole way through. You're just kind of thinking about that most of the time. And, the fact that Iron Lung in itself doesn't really work as a movie, at least in my opinion, and it was a bit too long, again, in my opinion. The movie itself is very impressive. Like the whole, like the production value, the effects and all that shit, it was actually really, really cool. You could feel a lot of the passion that Markiplier brought in. This is very much a passion product, and it's very good that it's been doing well and it's doing well in the box office. Even got like top 1 in like the day it came out. It's getting good reviews mostly. People are talking good about it. It is good, and it's a good sign for like other potential smaller content creators to make bigger and bigger stuff, because they're like, okay, well, now there's proof that this can work. There's proof that someone who usually doesn't do film stuff, does some film stuff, and it's still successful both critically and commercially. So hopefully that will open the door for more independent creators to make more stuff. It kind of reminds me a bit of like Hazbin Hotel, where the coolest thing about it is the fact that it exists and it still has some merit on its own, but there are some glaring flaws with it, but it at least opened the door for other stuff to be successful. The only difference is I actually like Iron Lung. I'm gonna have to fucking make a video on Hazbin Hotel, won't I? Ugh. Also, 3 other smaller problems, but they're not as big as the other ones. They don't really matter as much, at least I don't think. First of all, Markiplier, it's the convict Simon, at some point tries to use tape to make so that the camera keeps taking pictures on its own, so he doesn't have to like press it every single time. But he keeps only using 2 fucking strips of tape, and they keep falling off. And apparently it just never occurs to him to use more than 2 strips of tape. And he also fucking like drinks alcohol, like rubbing alcohol. He sees a little fucking thing of alcohol, and he drinks it, never suspecting that maybe it's just rubbing alcohol. Apparently he's a fucking dumbass. Secondly, towards the end of the movie, there's this character, Ava, and I guess also the fish god monster thing, is talking to Markiplier, and there's a lot of moments where they talk and you can't really understand what they're saying. Most of what they're saying is more so about like, you can still understand the plot. Most of what they're saying is mostly about like the theming of the movie, which I think is a lot of like sacrifice, freedom, purpose, and God, I guess. I didn't really get it that much. I don't really understand what it's trying to say. I don't know if that's my fault with the movies. But there are like a lot of moments where you can't really understand what the people are saying over the speaker, and which is kind of not great. These definitely need subtitles when if it comes to streaming. I don't know if I will, probably will. And lastly, there is a lot of emphasis on Simon about like his past and how he like is like responsible or not responsible for a space station blowing up and like killing a bunch of people. That stuff is not really explained much, other than just there was an explosion, killed a bunch of people except for Simon, might or might not have been his fault. And I feel like that stuff really doesn't really add much to the movie. I mean, it gives an explanation why he's a convict, which makes sense, but I feel like you could have removed all that stuff and just made him like, he is responsible for blowing up a station. That's why he's a convict, and just leave it there. And it really wouldn't have changed the movie. The whole like stuff, like the flashbacks of him as a kid, or the space station and the tree, something about a fucking tree. I feel like it didn't really add much, at least in my opinion. Again, this is all just my fucking opinion. Mark, if you're probably not watching this, but you might be, I don't fucking know. I do like your movie, okay? I like Iron Lung, the movie, okay? If you like Markiplier, you should watch this movie. If you like Iron Lung, you should watch this movie. If you just like cool science horror fiction shit, science fiction horror shit, this is a pretty cool one of those movies too. I think this is just pretty good. It does stand on its own as a science fiction horror movie. It does a good job with like body horror and like fear of the unknown and shit like that. And the premise on its own of just an ocean of blood is fucking cool as hell too. And it does play stuff with like God and shit, and just creatures like way more powerful than you, which is scary, and does that pretty well. It is pretty scary, especially like the second half is a lot more. Well, it's a lot more scarier than the first half, because that first half it's pretty fucking slow. But yeah, again, overall 7.75 out of 10. I would recommend this if you're into the stuff that it has. Other than that, there's not much of a reason for you to watch this. But it's good. Fun fact, I was supposed to get red food coloring so I could drink blood, but I couldn't find anything, and I also couldn't find any other red drinks. So I will see you all eventually.